He likes to go to the same combinations, you know, quite repetitively, whereas Crawford is unpredictable, and despite him not having the size, it's the shots that you don't see that hurt the most.
Just lets me know right there that I'm a threat to him. I'm a threat to him. I'm a threat to his legacy.
Canelo Alvarez, and that's just being honest. And I think what he has done in his career,
Now that the fight is officially set, boxing analysts are breaking down what promises to be a fascinating stylistic matchup. Canelo Alvarez, a master of calculated aggression, is known for his thunderous combinations, pinpoint counterpunching, and seasoned ring presence. Across the ring, Terence Crawford offers a contrasting skill set. His unpredictability, elite timing, and cerebral approach could allow him to disrupt Canelo's rhythm and find critical openings. However, a looming question remains: does Crawford possess enough punching power to command Canelo's respect? If he fails to make Canelo hesitate, the Mexican superstar may walk through his shots and dominate the exchanges. While many believe Canelo's strength and experience at higher weights give him the upper hand, others argue that Crawford's versatility and strategic brilliance could help him outbox the champion. With both men operating at the peak of their powers, this bout has the makings of a modern classic. A clash of styles, strategies, and legacies that could define an era in boxing.
Excuses why he don't want to take a fight with me. If it's all about business, then you doing good business. If I'm easy work, I heard him say I'm easy work. If I was easy work, well, you know, you would take all that money that he's offering you. But yet and still, he want 200 million for Benavidez, and he want 150 million to fight me. So that just lets me know right there that I'm a threat to him. I'm a threat to him. I'm a threat to his legacy, because it would be crazy for a guy that started at 135 to come all the way up to 168, your weight, no catch weight, no none of that, and dethrone you. So, you know, he got that in the back of his head. You know, this guy, for one, he's tough. For two, he's a boxer. He moves, he can punch, he can do it all. I can't slip up and lose to this little guy. Then what will my fans think of me? What will my Mexican people think of me?
Terence Crawford didn't hold back as he fired a direct warning toward Canelo Alvarez after officially locking in their upcoming bout. With conviction in his voice, Crawford declared, "I'm a threat to him and his legacy," making it crystal clear that he's not stepping into the ring just to compete, he's stepping in to conquer. As a multi-division world champion with an unblemished record, Crawford feels his superior speed, exceptional ring IQ, and polished technical skills will prove too much for Canelo to handle. But for Crawford, this isn't merely another title fight, it's a legacy-defining moment. He's aiming to etch his name among boxing's immortals by dismantling one of the sport's biggest icons. Confident in his ability to dissect opponents with precision, Crawford is determined to exploit every flaw in Canelo's arsenal. Fans around the world are now eagerly awaiting this epic clash, one that could either crown a new pound-for-pound king or reaffirm Canelo's reign. Will Crawford rise to the occasion and rewrite boxing history, or will Canelo silence the challenge and maintain his throne? The stage is set for a career-altering showdown.
I think Canelo, he likes to go to the same combinations, you know, quite repetitively, whereas Crawford is unpredictable, and despite him not having the size, it's the shots that you don't see that hurt the most, and maybe Crawford can hit him with some unexpected shit. And because of the repetitiveness of Canelo, maybe he can time him, maybe he can counterpunch with him, because Crawford is unbelievable at that. But I'm fascinated to see if Crawford has the power to get the respect of Canelo Alvarez, because when you don't, it's a long night. It's not nice. Like Crawford did well against Madrimov, and he won that fight for me quite clearly. But Madrimov was countering him. You know, if you can counter the counter puncher, you can give them a lot of problems when they're not used to that. And Canelo can counter people really well. And as great as Terence Crawford is, we've never seen him in there with someone with the power of Canelo Alvarez. This is a different world of power. And look, maybe Canelo doesn't throw as many shots as he used to, and maybe Crawford might look at that and go, you know what, I'm going to try and outpoint this guy, not get into a war with him, but just show my boxing, you know, genius and outpoint him and outland him. That's possible. It is. This is why this is such a fascinating matchup, man. You know, we've been treated to some amazing fights. Usyk Fury, for example, this is another one of those mega fights on Riyadh.
Promoter Eddie Hearn weighed in on Canelo Alvarez's career moves, stressing that the Mexican star has already accomplished enough to never justify fighting someone like Jake Paul. Hearn acknowledged that at this point, Canelo's decisions are guided less by legacy and more by financial wisdom. According to him, the potential fight with Paul isn't about competition, it's about business, and the paycheck could exceed a staggering $100 million. While skeptics may question the seriousness of such a matchup, Hearn emphasized that Canelo's status in the sport gives him the liberty to choose financially attractive fights without tarnishing his reputation. Ultimately, if the money makes sense, Canelo can entertain even unorthodox matchups while maintaining his legendary standing. For him, it's about capitalizing on opportunities, not proving himself anymore.
And that's just being honest. And I think what he has done in his career, he's proven everything, right? His resume is unbelievable. And if you want to make $100 million to fight Jake Paul, right? Like the thing is about Canelo, he don't tell any lies. He's very transparent, right? He's not going to try and justify this fight to you that, no, what I'm doing is I'm doing it to bring boxing to a wider audience. No, he's doing it for a sackload of money. So whenever you put an opponent forward to Canelo Alvarez, his question is, how much? And he's a businessman at this stage in his career, right? And at the end of the day, someone is offering whatever it will be, 80 million, 100 million, 120, to fight Jake Paul. A fight in which there is absolutely no risk. And by the way, you can't criticise Jake Paul, because the criticism for Jake Paul has always been, when are you going to fight someone decent? Well, guess what? You might be fighting Canelo Alvarez. I don't hate it. I'll be watching.
Did he never give up the belt still? That's the fight to stake.
Yeah, maybe. It might be his last fight. Who knows?
Eddie Hearn also came to Jake Paul's defense amid criticism over his level of opposition, noting that Jake is finally stepping up by exploring a fight with Canelo Alvarez. However, Hearn was brutally honest about the reality of the situation. Jake, he admitted, has almost no realistic shot at defeating Canelo. He described Canelo as a devastating, world-class fighter whose skill set far exceeds Jake's capabilities. Still, from a business standpoint, Hearn believes the fight makes a lot of sense for Jake. Even in likely defeat, Paul stands to secure a massive payday and global exposure. Though it may lack competitiveness, the spectacle alone guarantees viewership, and for Jake, it's the most high-profile opportunity of his career.
In boxing, no one's surprised that a fight like that's getting made, and I know you've gone out and said you do respect Jake Paul for getting in there. Canelo's a totally different beast to, definitely out of his prime Mike Tyson. Just talk about how much respect you would have for Jake for taking that fight.
Only respect because of the money. I mean, he's not doing it for free. He's not doing it because he wants to prove himself as a great fighter. He's doing it for 100 mil as well, or whatever he's getting.
It's a very, very scary match.
It's dangerous, and he's going to get spanked.
How many rounds?
However many Canelo wants it to be. I mean, the only thing is, Jake's going to be a lot heavier and bigger. But listen, no disrespect to Jake's ability as a fighter. He's fighting Canelo Alvarez, who is one of the top fighters in the world. So, he's going to get spanked, but he's going to make a lot of money whilst receiving the spank.
Just one day ago, Eddie Hearn confirmed that serious negotiations were underway for a mega fight between Jake Paul and Canelo Alvarez. Hearn explained that Canelo was always willing to get in the ring if the financial package is lucrative enough, saying bluntly, give Canelo the money, and he'll fight anyone. That statement captures the essence of Canelo's business strategy. For him, the Paul fight isn't about seeking validation or another championship, it's about smart financial moves. While critics may scoff at the matchup, boxing has long been influenced by money, and high-profile showdowns like this drive headlines and revenue. If the deal gets finalized, it could result in one of the most talked-about cross-promotional events in the sport's history.
Nothing really. I mean, it was all very sudden, wasn't it? Is it in relation to the Jake Paul fight? I don't know. I mean, look, Canelo, I tell you all, Canelo don't care, right? Give him the money, and he's going to fight. He doesn't really have, and this isn't a negative towards him, because he makes it clear he has no loyalty to anyone, right? None to me, none to PBC, none to Turkey Al Sheikh. Pay me the money, I will fight whoever you want me to fight. That's basically it. So I guess the talk was a Crawford fight. Now it looks like the Jake Paul fight is done, by all accounts. So does that make the Crawford fight less appealing? Because he's kind of moving into that world now, and I don't blame him, because he's going to make an absolute fortune to punch Jake Paul. And I don't mind the fight, I've got to be honest with you. Like, I've given Jake stick over the years because he's done some things that I didn't like, and I'm just being honest. But you have to respect him for taking the Canelo fight. He's doing that because there's a huge amount of money on the table, but I don't mind seeing it. So yeah, I don't know I've no idea whether it's in relation to that or whatever. I've not had one conversation about it, but certainly, you know, Canelo moving into that world, if you like, changes things perhaps in terms.
Initially, Canelo Alvarez was balancing discussions for two potential opponents, Jake Paul and Terence Crawford, with May being eyed for a Paul bout. However, according to reports, Saudi Arabia's Turki Al-Sheikh, who plays a major role in global boxing promotion, was not in favor of the Paul matchup. Displeased with the idea, he reportedly intervened, causing the Jake Paul fight to be scrapped. That decision shifted Canelo's focus toward a far more legitimate challenge, Terence Crawford. Now, the fight is locked in for September, with boxing fans buzzing over what could be a once-in-a-generation clash between elite competitors from different weight classes.
We know decided to pull the plug on the Canelo-Terence Crawford fight September 13th at Allegiant Stadium, Las Vegas Raiders Stadium in Las Vegas, due to the fact that Canelo Alvarez was trying to do a side deal outside of his 3-fight deal with Turki Al-Sheikh in Riyadh season to fight YouTube sensation turned professional boxer Jake Paul May 3rd. Turki Al-Sheikh wasn't happy with it. And so with that said, instead of getting the 2 Hall of Fame iconic fighters, first ballot Hall of Famers, in Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez in September, Turki Al-Sheikh decided, I'll find a new super fight for Terence Crawford and we'll take the deal off the table for Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez then decides, nope. He and his team pick up the phone. They have a conversation with Turki Al-Sheikh. And Turki Al-Sheikh and Canelo come to a 4-fight deal that's going to cancel the Jake Paul fight May 3rd, Las Vegas at the T-Mobile. And is now going to see Canelo Alvarez possibly face William Skull, the IBF undefeated Puerto Rican champion, at 168. May in Rio.
Trainer Greg Hackett provided insight into the speculation surrounding a potential Canelo versus Jake Paul bout. According to Hackett, discussions weren't just rumors, they were very real and serious. However, he raised doubts about the Crawford fight materializing, hinting that behind-the-scenes issues might be holding it back. Hackett's remarks reflect the complex reality of modern boxing negotiations, where finances, promoters, and legal contracts often dictate the matchups more than pure competitive merit. While fans hope to see Canelo face Crawford, Hackett suggests other priorities may have been influencing decisions. His perspective adds depth to the narrative, casting light on the ongoing power dynamics shaping elite fights.
Alright, so news got leaked that Canelo Alvarez and Jake Paul in May. What? So you got people that think it's a rumor. I can confirm that it's not a rumor. This is something that we've known for a long, I'm going to say we've known for about 3 to 4 weeks.
That's not going to be a real fight though. So that means Bud ain't happening.
No. They talking about Bud in September. Canelo, Jake Paul in that.
If he fight Jake Paul, he ain't going to fight Bud. Because I'm going to tell you why. He got to go up for Jake Paul. You gotta go up for Jake Paul. Jake Paul not coming under 200 pounds. You understand? Canelo gonna do the same thing Roy did to his body. He gonna go up and bring it back down to 68? Fuck no. He gonna do the same thing Roy did against...
Jake Paul unleashed a furious tweet after Canelo Alvarez seemingly backed out of their proposed fight. In a bombastic rant, Paul accused Canelo of ducking him and claimed the Mexican champion was now an own slave with no pride for his supporters. Paul didn't stop there, he declared himself the true face of boxing and insisted that no major event in 2025 could happen without his name attached. Boasting about his independence and drawing power, he positioned himself as boxing's next major figure. While fans debated his words, the real development was Canelo signing a 4-fight deal with Turki Al-Sheikh, signaling a new promotional direction and a commitment to legacy-driven matchups. Though Paul continues to push his narrative, Canelo's new deal indicates a very different path forward.
All right, let's do this. Canelo versus Crawford confirmed. Not a rumor, not speculation, not he said, she said, or someone leaking the story. Confirmed. And I guess the confirmation doesn't get much more rock solid than the Ring Magazine putting this story out first. Ring Magazine, obviously owned by Turkey. Turkey would have been the one to put this deal together, and Turkey would have had to given the green light for the Ring Magazine to even put that story out. That's as confirmation as you need it. That's it. The fight will happen in September. Touch wood, no injuries. Wow. Easily the biggest fight of 2025. I said a few days ago, Benavidez Morale was my most intriguing fight of 2025. Obviously that's now been put down to second place because this has been announced. Nothing can be announced to top this.
Canelo Alvarez's four-fight agreement with Turki Alışık marks a major transition in his career, aligning him with a powerful figure in international boxing. This deal unlocks new opportunities for headline-making fights and showcases. It's a strategic play that could further secure Canelo's status as one of the sport's most dominant and marketable stars.
You said that you'd like to go up against Canelo Alvarez. What gives you the right to call out a 59-2 boxer, one of the greatest of all time, when you've not yet proven yourself?
I'm predicting what's going to happen three more years from now.
So I'm
going to get to his skill level and beat him. I have one of the greatest self-belief systems in the world, and I know what I'm capable of, and with this new team, I can give Canelo a serious for his money.
Would you ever do like exhibitions like that, or like people like Jake Paul call you out, or these like other big stars? Like, is that business wise like even worth it?
When I'm done with boxing, why not? Maybe I do it. I think it's
like when you're done like competing at the highest level, you're saying?
Yeah, I think it's good because what happened there is other people who never watch boxing, or they don't know anything about boxing, they wanna watch Jake Paul because he's coming from he bring fans from other world, right? Yeah. That's good because everybody enjoy it.
Would you ever entertain that idea when you're done?
Maybe.
Boxing commentator Showbiz the Adult weighed in on the drama, pointing out how the Jake Paul rumors completely changed the narrative around Canelo's next fight. While it appears the Paul bout is off the table, nothing is fully confirmed. Eddie Hearn hasn't shut down talks of a potential fight between Canelo and Terence Crawford, which keeps that exciting possibility alive. Meanwhile, Jake Paul continues his promotional blitz, insisting that a fight with Canelo would be historic, perhaps even bigger than Tyson's greatest bouts. Given Paul's unique appeal to casual and non-boxing audiences, the spectacle would undeniably draw massive attention. As talks evolve, all eyes are on Canelo's next move, whether it's toward Crawford or back to Paul. It will have far-reaching consequences for the sport's future.
Ago, you heard what Terence Crawford had to say on why he wants to take on Saul Canelo Alvarez.
I just want the opportunity, to fight the best fighter in my generation that's out there. He's the most accomplished fighter, and I would just like to, fight another great.
Which is a very noble reason. I mean, it's a reason that I can get behind. If you notice, his primary reason isn't money. He did say it'll be the biggest fight, which, you do want a big fight, but I don't think he meant monetarily, which the money comes, okay? But what he's saying is he want to test himself versus the best. And I think he's telling the truth here, right? Of course you want big money and stuff like that, but I think his swan song is just him testing himself up against the very best. Those are the reasons, the more.
Turki Alışık, the driving force behind Saudi Arabia's booming boxing scene, released a video outlining Canelo's four-fight contract under the Riyadh season banner. In the clip, he detailed how this deal is set to reshape boxing, offering fans unforgettable showdowns and elevating the sport to a new global level.
Are you tired of people asking you about Terence yet?
No, look, I always say, I respect Terence Crawford. He's a very talented fighter, but he just win one big fight. If you see his record, he just beat one good fighter like Errol Spence is. But other than that, I don't think he's beating other great fighter like Spence. he did a really good job with the Spence. He did like almost look it very easy. But I knew Terence Crawford is a great fighter. But you never know in boxing. We'll see.
Turki Alalshik released a video message discussing Canelo Alvarez's 4-fight agreement during the Riyadh season.
YouTube influencer versus pound for pound great being the hang up in the fight, being the one that stops the momentum. Because it's not happening. There is no world.
Okay, then let me ask you this.
May I be struck by lightning right now if this is possible?
Does
a lightning bet.
If this happens, if this happens.
There's just no way. There is no way.
Wait. If what happens? If the fight happens, or if the upset of
if
the
Jake
century
Paul,
happens?
If Jake Paul derails Terence Crawford versus Canelo by
All credit to
beating
him.
Canelo,
then you book
there's
Jake
no
Paul
chance.
versus Terence Crawford.
Zero.
Okay, let
None.
me ask you this. If that fight ends up being close,
yes,
a lot of
It
people
won't.
are going to watch that fight, right?
A lot, because I think a lot of people are going to want to see Jake Paul lose, and
100%.
Canelo's
Canelo's going to do this. Canelo would do this, and we're
let's
just talking.
Let's backtrack to your first question, which is interest. I'm very interested because, as I've long said, I'm on this corner. I only care about Jake Paul in spectacles. It would be an absolute spectacle to see a pound for pound. First, he did Mike Tyson, which, and I'm not going all the way back, but I'm saying in his most recent outing, Mike Tyson, an all-time legend, a pop culture icon, versus Jake Paul is a spectacle. Now you're going the opposite direction to nearly in his prime. We'll say maybe like he's on the back nine, but he's still close to his prime. He's still a top 5 pound for pound on pretty much anybody's list fighter. Going against Jake Paul, I'm in for the spectacle. I'm in. I don't think Jake Paul has a chance in hell, but I'm in for the spectacle.
And how long has he been beating the drum on this? He's been saying he's going to do this forever.
Alashik urged Canelo not to overlook the significance of Canelo's new deal, emphasizing how events like these uplift boxing worldwide. His influence has brought massive attention to the Middle East, establishing Saudi Arabia as a new hub for high-profile bouts. His promotional vision isn't just about star power, it's about transforming the global boxing ecosystem by consistently delivering top-tier fights and giving athletes worldwide a platform to shine.
Be great. That'll be 3 times. If you go 154 and win the belt, that's 3 times super. Then I said, chase super greatness. Come on, Canelo, 160.
Well, if he can get in there with Charlo in like his next 2 fights, where he's still got age on his side, then maybe go up again. Like if he's trying to chase the greatness, but I mean he already done something that's never been done. Charlo don't want none of that smoke.
Terence Crawford, I see he wants to fight. He's made it clear. Do fights like that help your legacy, or do you feel like that's something that's not worth it to you?
Everything in my career, every fight make my legacy different and better. No, Terence Crawford is a great fighter. He's a good fighter, but like I say, he's weight classes for a reason. I'm focused 100% on Berlanga, and you never know what happened.
Yeah.
Boxing icon Roy Jones Jr. gave his take on the looming Canelo versus Crawford bout. He believes the outcome will hinge on execution. If Canelo sticks to his strengths and controls the tempo, Roy thinks he can win. But he also warned that Crawford's adaptability, quickness, and technical prowess make him a dangerous opponent. One slip-up from Canelo could tilt the fight in Crawford's favor. For Roy, this fight is a razor-close contest between 2 champions with very different strengths.
Yeah, because a lot of people are saying like, hey, forget about Canelo. That was a tough fight with Madrimov. Go ahead and give Boots a shot. Give Boots the chance. But Eddie's saying, hey, I think Crawford's saying, hey, give me the Canelo fight, or I'm not fighting. I'm done.
Why? What he got to prove to Boot? Boot trying to take over and start beating the guys around him. Prove that he's the best of that group. Bud is in a group above him. Bud don't need to come back down to 47 to meet him. That's crazy. Why would he? Bud looking to try to make history and get out. Get his big bank and get out. His big bank is who? Canelo. He willing to take that gamble, see if he can beat him. If he beats him, he may go fight Benavidez next. If he don't beat him, he say, okay, I took it as high as I could go. I'm done.
That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy if he gets the win. Like, oh my.
That wraps up today's video. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe for more exclusive boxing news and updates. We'll catch you in the next one.